You know, before I get into the meat of this video, there's a few things that I need to say up front that will, of course, serve as the intro to this masterpiece. Now, I'm currently sitting here enjoying an LFD, the Flor Dominicana, as I watch one of my all-time favorite horror movies, The Exorcist, as I produce this video. And of course, you've seen the title. And of course, y'all know today is Mother's Day. And y'all know how I do every major holiday. I produce a trilogy in the whole. And this holiday is going to be no different. I'm going to deal with these two magazine covers, because both of these covers, there's a lot in both of them. And if you're thinking that these are some of my masterful creations, no, I did not create these. These are legitimate magazine covers. And I'm telling you, they speak volumes. So what I'm going to do in the trilogy, I'm going to address the unedited, unscripted version of this. I'm going to delve into both of these covers. And I'm going to attempt to answer a question. And it's actually a rhetorical question, but excuse me, it's from a shirt that I seen that April Mason was advertising. And she's selling this shirt, and I hope I can quote it right. She's selling a t-shirt, and the t-shirt says, "Don't address me as a strong, independent black woman, because it's not a compliment." And I looked at that t-shirt and I looked at these magazine covers, I suddenly realized that they all connect. And you won't have to, many of y'all who've been down the hole, y'all already know, but you know, it is second nature like breathing. If you want to hear the response to that t-shirt that April Mason is selling, "Don't address me as a strong, independent black woman, because that's not a compliment." I guess by her saying it's not a compliment, we can logically conclude she thinks it's an insult. She thinks it's an insult in 2020 to tell a black female that you are strong and you're independent. April Mason says, "Don't address me as a strong, independent black woman, because that's not a compliment. That's an insult." And I'm, and many of y'all already know, I just got bailed out of YouTube jail today, so I'm gonna be careful. I'm gonna be careful. I'm gonna have to wait till I get down into the hole to really delve into this. Y'all know what it is, second nature like breathing. Send me email, send you the link. And I want to say this, and I've said this in many of my videos, and I actually made a video, and I commented on my desire to stand with the Ku Klux Klan. And I've said this in videos. I said I would stand with the Klan. I would stand with Nazi sympathizers. I would stand with them defending their right to say whatever it is they have to say. I would stand with them defending their right, their freedom of speech. Don't censor them. A few years ago, when they had that march in Charlottesville, and the organizer of that march, he was giving a press conference, and they wanted to shut down the press conference. And I said, no, don't shut down the press conference. Allow the guy to speak. Because if you are a proponent of freedom of speech, and I've said this in many of my videos, if you are a proponent of freedom of speech, you are tested when you have to defend speech or a person's right to speech that you disagree with. That's when you are tested on whether or not you are a true proponent of freedom of speech. It's easy to defend speech that you agree with, or to defend somebody's right to say things that you agree with. But where you are tested is when you are willing to still stand with people that you are diametrically opposed against, but still will defend their right to say what they have to say. That's when you know you are a proponent of freedom of speech, and that's what I am. I don't believe in censorship. And I've said this in many of these videos that unfortunately the YouTube flagging, the way that whole thing is set up, it's nothing but censorship. And if a person doesn't like, the fact you wear shades, or they don't like the fact you smoke cigars, they don't like the fact that you shave your head, if they don't like you, they can just flag your video and call it hate speech. That's not hate speech. That's just you don't like the person, or you don't like their opinion, but that's not hate speech. But this is the process, and this is what it is. This is the reason why I can constantly tell y'all this is why you should support the Rabbit Hole Productions. This is the reason why I constantly make a video and direct you to the rabbit hole where it can be said straight down the center of the plate, straight, no chaser. Nobody's going to get offended. You know what it is before you even come down there. And that's one of the reasons why I disabled the comment thread. And you'll notice in all those Rabbit Hole Productions, over 500 Masterful Rabbit Hole Productions, 10 Vimeo channels, 10 Vimeo channels that has been flagged down. And in all those videos, I disabled the comments. Why? Because you are not going to send me an email, have me send you the video clip or the video link. You go view the video and then want to argue in the comment thread. No, if you're not going to go through all that to bicker and fuss with me. No. So, and here we go again. I tell y'all every time, like clockwork, I have this ticket and somebody's trying to contact me, and this bothers me, but I got to get my ticket, y'all. Let me straighten this. Let me go on and answer this and get back. All right. So we back. I tell y'all, it's like people are waiting just until I get ready to produce one of these Masterful Productions, and I either will get a text or somebody will try to call me and it interrupts my ticking. And I got to have my ticking. But, let me get back to the point why I disabled that comment thread, because you're not going to go through all that trouble to try to bicker and argue with me. So I just disabled the comments. But in the rabbit hole, that's where you're going to get it straight down the center of the plate. It's not going to be sugar-coated. And as many of you know who've been down there, you know what it is. It's not going to be sugar-coated. It's going to be said the way I really want to say it, without fear of censorship. So that's another shameless plug for the Rabbit Hole Production. If y'all want the Mother's Day trilogy, you know what it is, Second Nature Like Breathing, send me an email, I'll send you the link. But I'm going to briefly touch upon these covers, because these covers is deep, man. And when I seen the Rolling Stone cover, I wanted to get it because I'm going to have it framed. And the reason why I'm going to get it and have it framed is because it's deep. It says a lot. There's a lot in that cover. And apparently, I believe Rolling Stone heard the black woman say some things too. And that's the reason why that cover is what it is. I mean, it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. And the fact that you have a black female, which I would believe is her son, apparently protesting with her son, and not a man in sight. Well, not man. There are men in sight, but not a father in sight. And when I seen that cover, I was like, man, that's some deep stuff there, buddy. And y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all been down that hole, y'all know I'm biting my tongue, because I'm gonna give it to you how it needs to be in the hole. But there's a lot in that cover. And as I was going into Barnes and Nobles to try to find this cover of Rolling Stone, I stumbled across the cover of Time. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, and I know the white folks, if you've been in Barnes and Nobles, y'all know how their magazine section, and I'm sitting there and there's other people mulling around the magazine section, and I start laughing out loud, and they probably thinking, this Negro done lost his mind. I'm laughing at this cover because I'm like, man, is this for real? I mean, y'all are going to take a black female and put her on the cover. Not, listen, hey, Chrissy, not just a black female, but a dark-skinned black female with natural hair. And y'all gonna put her on the cover holding a silhouette of a baby, which in all intents and purposes is a white baby. I mean, that's something that will be created in the rabbit hole, man. That's something, and I'm sure people probably looked at that cover and thought, man, you did that. No, that's not me. I'm telling you, go look at this week's edition of Time, and that's what's on the cover. And I didn't even know anything about that cover until I stumbled across it looking for the Rolling Stone article. And in the process of trying to secure a copy of Rolling Stone, I stumbled across Time. And I'm saying to myself, man, is this Christmas? I mean, somebody gonna give me a gift like this? And y'all gonna give me a gift like this on Mother's Day? Oh, man. Boy, man, listen, hold on. Let me take a sip of this. I'm sitting here, like I say, I'm watching The Exorcist, and I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna take a sip of this coffee, because I'm gonna try to. I don't want to go over the line and produce some hate speech. Wink, wink. So we're gonna tone it down. We're going to tone it down, and we're going to wait till we get down in that hole. And like I said, we're gonna deal with it down there, straight, no chaser. Again, shameless plug for the Rabbit Hole production. And why y'all should support it. And again, that's not to say that people don't. Those who do, as I constantly say in every video that I send out, I am appreciative of y'all's love and y'all's support. I thank y'all for that. It means a lot to me to know that somebody is listening. It lets me know that my labor is not in vain. But when I looked at that cover and I seen that Rolling Stone, and I'm like, this is it. This is the evidence, man. This is the evidence. It's right there. It's right there, man. You can't miss this. You can't miss this. There could have been probably an endless amount of images that Rolling Stone could have put on the cover of that edition that's dealing with all these protests that's been going on from the death of George Floyd. And there could have been a billion ongoing images that they could have put on that cover. Images that they could have used to justify, and talk about all of these, protests, all of these riots, everything that's going on. They could have come up with 1,000,001 other images. Why did they choose to put on the cover of their magazine? And listen, April Mason, this is a strong, independent, in the words of the Hoteps, the pro-black, the back to Africas, who would engage in those debates, whose debate back and forth, that she was God. The black woman is God. And this is who they put on the cover. But not just her. Not just her. But they included her son. They included her son, which is to suggest to me that she's probably teaching her son about these protests. She's socializing him. This is something that he's going to remember. So when he grows up, he probably is going to internalize that, and he's going to remember, my mama took me to this protest. My mama was active in the protest. She was involved. She was out there. And more than likely, maybe, he might be out there as well. Why? Because this is the way she's socializing him. She's responsible for his socialization. So if he grows up and he becomes one of these guys who's active in his community, he's out there protesting, we can point to her and say, well, listen, she socialized him into being that. She was the one that taught him. So now let's flip that. Let's say she didn't have him at the protest. Let's say she had him out at the club somewhere, or out carousing around, fighting and all kinds of dysfunctional behavior. If she engages in that and he grows up to be involved in that, should we not then also say that that's her fault? And we want to say it's a compliment when she educates him and properly teaches him. He's out there at the protest. She got her fist up. He got his fist up. And everybody applaud that. Man, she's doing a good job with her son. But now let's flip that. And why is it that y'all are not willing to accept? And let me back up. Because I feel myself going in. Oh, Rolling Stone, y'all hooked me up. And then not only did they hook me up, but then we got the time. I mean, this timepiece. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me, I'm not going to take a sip of this. I'm going to take a puff of this. But that Time magazine piece, I mean, here you have a black woman. Here you have a black woman, man. A black female holding a silhouette of a child, but as I said, in all intents and purposes, that's a white baby. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm not, oh boy, I'm telling you. I'm going to enjoy this rabbit hole. I'm going to enjoy this trilogy. That Time magazine cover, I'm telling you, when I seen it, I got to have this. I'm getting that frame. Yes, I'm going to put that in the frame. I might put them together. Have them both framed together. But most certainly, when I seen that, I was like, oh man, I got to have this, man. This here, I mean, this is something that will be created in my laboratory. That looks like one of my concoctions. As I sit back concocting a few concoctions, this is something that I would have came up with. For obvious reasons, and if you've been down that hole, you know why. But like I said, we gon' because I'm gonna bite my tongue. We gonna wait. It's all right. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get down the center of the plate. I got him warming up in the bullpen. There's action in the bullpen. Don't worry. So as I looked at these two covers, I said, you know what? This is classic, man. This is something that's gonna serve as the foundation for this Father's Day, Mother's Day trilogy. And so what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to labor long here. And as a matter of fact, what y'all going to start getting out of me is whenever I have a subject matter, I'm going to just give you a brief infomercial, if you will. It's just going to be enough to just tickle your taste buds. It's like when you go to the mall and they give you samples of a sandwich or samples of something they give you on those little toothpicks. They just give you just enough to tickle your taste buds to get you inside to buy it. So that's what I'm going to do with the videos. I'm going to tickle your taste buds, but we're going to go hard in the paint, down in the hole. You know what it is, second that you like breathing, send me an email. I most certainly will send you the link, because at the end of the day,